Thanks for joining me for today's Bible reading. It is July 22nd, Proverbs 27 to 29 from the World English Bible. Verse 1. Don't boast about tomorrow, for you don't know what a day may bring. Let another man praise you and not your own mouth, a stranger and not your own lips. A stone is heavy and sand is a burden, but a fool's provocation is heavier than both. Wrath is cruel and anger is overwhelming, but who is able to stand before jealousy? Better is open rebuke than hidden love. The wounds of a friend are faithful, although the kisses of an enemy are profuse. A full soul loathes a honeycomb, but to a hungry soul, every bitter thing is sweet. As a bird that wanders from her nest, so is a man who wanders from his home. Perfume and incense bring joy to the heart, so does earnest counsel from a man's friend. Boy, that's a good one. So does earnest counsel from a man's friend bring joy to the heart. Think how relieved some people are, or we in general are, when we can just have a good talk with someone and resolve something. I also like, since I'm stopped to talk, I like this one. A full soul loathes a honeycomb, because, I'd have to look up which word this word soul is, but soul generally refers to your mind, will, and emotions, not your body. You would think it would say a full body or person loathes a honeycomb. But let me read it again. A full soul loathes a honeycomb, but to a hungry soul, every bitter thing is sweet. So you tend to think, I'm start over and try to articulate. You tend to think it's just talking about a person in general, right? Somebody who's hungry. If they're satisfied, they don't want anything. It doesn't even taste good. If they're hungry, everything tastes good, right? But if you put it in the framework of a soul, their mind, will, and emotions, someone who's satisfied in their relationships and not lonely, not alone, they're fine. But to someone who's lonely and, desperate for human companionship and somebody who cares about them, they're subject to, you know, just receiving attention from anyone that will give it to them, even negative attention. So it's an interesting way to look at that verse. All right, let me go on. Verse 10. Don't forsake your friend and your father's friend. Don't go to your brother's house in the day of your disaster. A neighbor who is near is better than a distant brother. Be wise, my son, and bring joy to my heart, then I can answer my tormentor. A prudent man sees danger and takes refuge, but the simple pass on and suffer for it. Take his garment when he puts up collateral for a stranger. Hold it for a wayward woman. He who blesses his neighbor with a loud voice early in the morning will be taken as a curse by him. That's a funny one. I'm going to read that again. He who blesses his neighbor with a loud voice early in the morning will be taken as a curse by him. I've remembered that verse through the years and tried not to overwhelm people when they just wake up. Anyway, feel free to comment your thoughts if any of these verses, have meaning in your life. Some of them are they're proverbs, they're adages and sayings and expressions. And if you know a good story to go with them, feel free to comment them. Verse 15, a continual dropping on a rainy day and a contentious wife are alike. Restraining her is like restraining the wind, or like grasping oil in his right hand. Iron sharpens iron, so a man sharpens his friend's countenance. Whoever tends the fig tree will eat its fruit. He who looks after his master will be honored. Like water reflects a face, so a man's heart reflects the man. Let me read that again. As water reflects a face, so like a mirror, so a man's heart reflects the man. Sheol and Abaddon are never satisfied, and a man's eyes are never satisfied. That's one of my memory verses. The eyes of man are never satisfied. 21. The crucible is for silver, and the furnace for gold, but man is refined by his praise. Though you grind a fool in a mortar with a pestle along with grain, yet his foolishness will not be removed from him. Know well the state of your flocks and pay attention to your herds, For riches are not forever, nor does the crown endure to all generations. The hay is removed and the new growth appears. The grasses of the hills are gathered in. The lambs are for your clothing, and the goats are the price of a field. There will be plenty of goat's milk for your food, for your family's food, and for the nourishment of your servant girls. Proverb 28. The wicked flee when no one pursues, but the righteous are as bold as a lion. In rebellion, a land has many rulers, but order is maintained by a man of understanding and knowledge. A needy man who oppresses the poor is like a driving rain which leaves no crops. Those who forsake the law praise the wicked, but those who keep the law contend with them. Evil men don't understand justice, but those who seek Yahweh understand it fully. Better is the poor. Let me go back to that. So, those who seek Yahweh understand it fully. See, I believe that the Word of God gives us the right perspective on justice. It talks a lot about justice from beginning to end on many levels. God's ultimate justice by, bringing Jesus to reverse the curse. And the other yet unfulfilled prophetic events, the end time events that will be, they're going to have their culmination in the new heaven and the new earth, but also individual justice. So I think that's interesting. It says, those who seek Yahweh understand it fully, understand justice fully. 6. Better is the poor who walks in his integrity than he who is perverse in his ways and he is rich. Whoever keeps the law is a wise son, but he who is a companion of gluttons shames his father. He who increases his wealth by excessive interest gathers it for one who has pity on the poor. He who turns away his ear from hearing the law, even his prayer is an abomination. Whoever causes the upright to go astray in an evil way will fall into his own trap, but the blameless will inherit good. The rich man is wise in his own eyes, but the poor has understanding. The poor who has understanding sees through him. When the righteous triumph, there is great glory, but when the wicked rise, men hide themselves. He who conceals his sins doesn't prosper, but whoever confesses and renounces them finds mercy. That should bring the fear of the Lord on everyone who hears that. Let me read it again. He who conceals his sins doesn't prosper, but whoever confesses and renounces them finds mercy. And we need mercy every day. Every day. That's why it says the mercies of God are new every morning. They're available. But we have to, humble ourselves before God. Verse 14, blessed is the man who always fears, but one who hardens his heart falls into trouble. So that goes right with the other one. As a roaring lion or a charging bear, so is a wicked ruler over helpless people. A tyrannical ruler lacks judgment. See, here it is, more about justice and righteous leadership. So let me read that again. A tyrannical ruler, no, let me go back. 15, as a roaring lion or a charging bear, so is a wicked ruler over helpless people. A tyrannical ruler lacks judgment. One who hates ill-gotten gain will have long days. A man who is tormented by life blood will be a fugitive until death. No one will support him. I don't know what that means. 18. Whoever walks blamelessly is kept safe, but one with perverse ways will fall suddenly. One who works his land will have an abundance of food, but one who chases fantasies will have his fill of poverty. A faithful man is rich with blessings, but one who is eager to be rich will not go unpunished. To show partiality is not good, yet a man will do wrong for a piece of bread. A stingy man hurries after riches and doesn't know that poverty waits for him. One who rebukes a man will afterward find more favor than one who flatters with the tongue. Whoever robs his father or mother says it's not wrong is a partner with the destroyer. One who is greedy stirs up strife, but one who trusts in Yahweh will prosper. There's that prosperity message again. 26. One who trusts in himself is a fool, but one who walks in wisdom is kept safe. One who gives to the poor has no lack, but one who closes his eyes will have many curses. He who gives to the poor has no lack. There's more than one Bible verse that talks about that. not lacking when you're a generous giver. And it says, if we give to the poor, the Lord will repay us. How about that? Verse 27, one who gives to the poor has no lack, but one who closes his eyes will have many curses. When the wicked rise, men hide themselves, but when they perish, the righteous thrive. Proverbs 29, last one. He who is often rebuked and stiffens his neck will be destroyed suddenly with no remedy. When the righteous thrive, the people rejoice, but when the wicked rule, the people groan. Whoever loves wisdom brings joy to his father, but a companion of prostitutes squanders his wealth. The king by justice makes the land stable, but he who takes bribes tears it down. A man who flatters his neighbor spreads a net for his feet. An evil man is snared by his sin. But the righteous can sing and be glad. The righteous care about justice for the poor. The wicked aren't concerned about knowledge. Mockers stir up a city, but a wise man turn away anger. If a wise man goes to court with a foolish man, the fool rages or scoffs, and there's no peace. The bloodthirsty hate a man of integrity, and they seek the life of the upright. A fool vents all his anger, but a wise man brings himself under control. If a ruler listens to lies, all of his officials are wicked. That's a special verse to me, too. I won't go into why, but it is. So the other one, the one I memorized, says, if a ruler hearkens to lies, all of his servants are wicked. See, no one, I'll just say this about it. When you have an unrighteous ruler, it's very difficult for a righteous leader or employee or servants, officials, depending on the version you read. It's very hard to have an upright one underneath them because they're not going to comply. For one thing, they're not going to want to work for someone who's a liar. So by default, what's going to fill the vacuum? Wicked people. It's a good one. 13. The poor man and the oppressor have this in common. Yahweh gives sight to the eyes of both. The king who fairly judges the poor, his throne shall be established forever. The rod of correction gives wisdom, but a child left to himself causes shame to his mother. When the wicked increase, sin increases, but the righteous will see their downfall. Correct your son, and he will give you peace. Yes, he will bring delight to your soul. Where there is no revelation, the people cast off restraint, but one who keeps the law is blessed. A servant can't be corrected by words, though he understands, yet he will not respond. Do you see a man who is hasty in his words? There is more help for a fool than for him. He who pampers his servant from youth will have him become a son in the end. An angry man stirs up strife, and a wrathful man abounds in sin. A man's pride brings him low, but one of lowly spirit gains honor. Whoever is an accomplice of a thief is an enemy of his own soul. He takes an oath, but dares not testify. The fear of man proves to be a snare, but whoever puts his trust in Yahweh is kept safe. Many seek the ruler's favor, but a man's justice comes from Yahweh. A dishonest man detests the righteous, and the upright in their way detest the wicked. That's it for today's reading. God bless you. Till next time.